Well, greetings everyone, and welcome once again to our next last edition of the year. Next Wednesday will be our last show of this year. We won't be back until January 7th. But in the meantime, we're glad to have so many people tuning in, and we look forward to having a great show next Wednesday. And we'll definitely have to get Jeffrey Fan in to talk a little ACC sports before we leave for the rest of the year. I do see the panel is full here. Bo, how are you doing this evening? I see you.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Oh man, I was impressed by your view that you showed us last week.
Oh, from the NHL, yeah. So they had me up in the media booth, so it was very cool.
Dave, how are you doing this evening?
Doing all right.
Boy, oh boy, hey, I guess my dream catchers are working here. I don't know.
They worked this past week.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We also Don, how are you doing this evening?
Doing good. How y'all?
Good.
And I see. Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. Dapper Dan is joining us tonight here, putting all the rest of us to shame. But right. Bill, how are you doing this evening?
It has been an interesting last few days. Shout out to Kurt Google Me Signetti. I think a lot of people are cleaning egg off their faces today.
Oh, well, hey, we actually this week is also when they announced the final 16 here, and oddly enough, it seems like Notre Dame is a little upset. Notre Dame says, playoffs or nothing. Bo, what's your thoughts here, man?
I mean, I never like schools ducking bowl games, and if the school wants to do it, I guess whatever. It's a real disservice to the players, the fans, everybody around the team, right? Now, in Notre Dame's case, the kids also voted on it, right? But there are quite a few schools that the school decided not to do it, and I'm just not a big fan of that, because then all these kids that are like, oh, we're going to have a bowl game, and then the school is like, oh, just kidding, you already played your last game. Like that is a bummer. In Notre Dame's case is a little different because the players had a vote in that as well. But I don't like it. Like, play the games. Now, maybe I'm old, but I wanted to lace them up every time a game was available. If my knees would let me, I'd lace them up tomorrow. Like it.
Don, speaking as someone who's had the experience of being in a bowl game, what's your thoughts here? Student athlete, former player.
Well, my take is that bowl games, and I understand that the whole concept of bowl games has been diminished in this age of transfer portal and NIL, but to me, bowl games are still something to aim for. You get an extra game. The bowls give you some great gifts.
That's right. Who doesn't need a year's supply of Pop-Tarts?
Yeah. Well, but like, the only bowl game I was involved in was the 1991 Cotton Bowl, and we got a couple warm-up suits. We got a nice watch. We got y'all remember PlayStation? Was it PlayStation? No. Sega Genesis.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Sega Genesis. I mean, when you're a kid from a middle class background, that's nice, because my parents were not going to buy me a Sega Genesis. That just was not going to happen. So Yeah, we got some good stuff. You had a lot of banquets to go to, and you get to meet celebrities. I mean, a whole bunch of doors were opened up. Now we got our ass handed to us by Miami. Yeah, so bad that ESPN did a 30 for 30 on it, but yeah, but I think you're doing disservice to your players if you don't let them go to a bowl game. Some kids have never some kids never been to New Orleans. You get the Sugar Bowl, oh, New Orleans, wow, and you're spending a week and a half there, and you get to see a lot of stuff. San Diego, you get to go. You get to go to SeaWorld and visit all the stuff in San Diego. I mean, uh, don't get me on the Rose Bowl. I mean, hell, Los Angeles. So I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, and all the bowl games you have in Florida. So to me, and I understand now you got NIL. You're making $500,000 a year now. You can go visit on your own time, but the fact that you have the connection, the brotherhood with their teammates, your staff, your coaches, it's something special. And I think whatever Notre Dame thinks, they're the service to their kids.
I wanted to touch on Furman's comment there, blames the ACC. You know how you could get around that? Join the conference fully.
Yep.
Be a conference champion, and then a 3-loss Alabama doesn't get in.
Yeah. I thought we'd run our comments down here, so you can comment anytime on the comments that you see in the queue there. Dave, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, the college football playoff has taken a lot of the limelight away from the Bulls. And, there was a time when the Bulls, that was what it was all about, the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, Cotton Bowl. And now when you tack on the money aspect, I think you're going to see more players making business decisions. They don't want to risk themselves because if they get hurt in a bowl game, which it doesn't lead to a conference championship. I'm not talking about the college championship, but for a bowl game, it comes down to being an exhibition. I mean, so I can see where the quality of the games has been a little bit undermined because most of the best teams are going to be in the college football playoff, and they're getting the leftovers for a lot of the bowl games. And hey, if the Notre Dame players voted on it, I mean, I would like to see them play. I mean, to me, I would prefer that they play, but if they don't want to play, can't force them.
Bill, I understand everybody's difference of opinion here, but this is Notre Dame, and their coffers are pretty full. If this was Northern Michigan, would they be making the same decision?
Well, let me do this. Can you imagine Bo Schembechler asking his team if they want to play a football game? Can you imagine Woody Hayes taking a poll to see if guys want to suit up and run onto the field? Can you imagine Paul Bear Bryant saying, "Hey boys, do you feel like playing today?" The essence of leadership is, in many cases, getting people to do things they may not want to do. So I'm going to put the onus on the people that said, we're going to ask the players. You didn't ask the players they want to play in these other games. So, see, I was in the process of warming up to Notre Dame. I had been a Notre Dame disliker for many, many years. And they hired Marcus Freeman, who I'm a big fan of. And, they became I thought, a little less pompous and arrogant. And then they proved to me they're still Notre Dame. So at the very heart of this, Dave, you know what devalues bowl games? Notre Dame saying we don't feel like playing in a bowl game. That's how you devalue bowl games. If 3 or 4 or 5 players opt out, while that's not ideal, that doesn't completely remove the aura of bowl games. But when Notre Dame says, "Nah, I'm good," that damages the value of a bowl game. So, yeah, I'm just going to flat out say it. While I'm a big fan of Marcus Freeman, I feel like it's something of a cop out, frankly, to poll or ask whatever the players. And I'm willing to bet there was probably some sort of speech or something given prior to this vote. I'm just conjecturing. I wasn't there. I'm not in the locker room. But I'm a guess that the well was poisoned. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to throw it out there that I think there was probably a little bit of leading the witness. So,
oh, you think they were unfairly influenced there?
I think they may have been, Bo. I think they might have been. And I get it. If you're Jeremiah Love, there's no point. I get it. But there are players who are jockeying for position on this or some other team. And the bowl game, just like any other game, is a chance for them, if they are thinking about dipping their toes in the transfer portal, to put good games on tape. There's going to be people who will play because guys did opt out, right? And this is going to help some of those players, if they're upperclassmen, to maybe improve their opportunity to be drafted or at least be brought into an NFL camp. And for the underclassmen, it's a chance to push their way into maybe a chance to start next year for Notre Dame or someone else. So other than showing everyone that what's the old saying? They drove off in a huff, get the 2025 huff. Other than showing everyone that you are in a fit of peak, I'm not sure what else was accomplished. And frankly, I mean, I know that, social media isn't the real place, but boy, oh boy, have they taken a beating in the quotes and retweets and whatever. They have taken it. And frankly, they brought it on themselves. And frankly, I think it's really deserved.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was kind of unusual, but I guess in today's NIL and whatnot. But like I said, if it had been Western Michigan,
this wasn't NIL's fault. Stop bringing up NIL. This had nothing to do with NIL. NIL didn't do this.
No, I understand. This is like you said. This is on Notre Dame. To me, it was. It was. Being old school, it was kind of like you said. Polling the players about whether or not they want to play. Something that I've never heard of. But anyway.
Yeah, I can see how this speech went. You guys want to play, right?
You pessimist guys. Jeez. So,
I mean, they're not the only school to pull out, though. So there are some other schools that are opting out of bowl games. At least they did ask the kids. The other ones didn't, which is why they're getting fined by the NCAA $500K per school. Good. So, I mean, not by the NCAA, sorry, by their conference. So, I mean, there's multiple doing it. You know what is weird about the playoff landscape and bowl games now, though, is it used to be if you made it to a bowl game, that was the bowl game, right? And now, because of the way that the playoff landscape is set up, you could go win the Cotton Bowl and then go win the Fiesta Bowl and then go win the national championship that is also a bowl game. I forget which one it is now. But you can effectively win 3 bowl games during the course of the playoffs now, where it used to be you won a bowl game, and then, of course, the voting lets you be a champion or tie as a champion. As a Husky fan, that's still stupid. There's still some underlying bitterness from 1991.
Shout out to Steve Empman.
Good old tied for it with Miami. It's so dumb.
So,
I mean, actually, teams refusing to go to the Bulls have. I mean, Pitt refused to go to the Rose Bowl back in 1936.
Yep.
I mean, this isn't the first time that this has happened. And now some of these were because teams like I think Penn State refused to go to a bowl game because of it was in solidarity to fight segregation.
Wallace Triplett. And that's where the "We Are Penn State" chant comes from. Yeah, that was about the Wallace Triplett thing.
I feel like
but then as recently as 2024, Kansas State didn't go, and they said that the players voted to skip the bowl due to transfer portal losses and opt-outs. And so NIL or not the NIL, but the transfer portal does have an impact on those.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, that would
And-
make at least
and-
make actual sense.
Yes. Well, and at least they finally sort of fixed that, right? They changed when the transfer portal is moving forward. So it's
Right.
going to be after the national championship game.
Right,
So I
right,
love
right.
that. Now, if they could fix it on the coach's end, so there's a non-tampering policy until after the championship game or whatever bowl game you're eligible for, that would be awesome, right? We're talking about pro sports in college at this point anyway. So let's just do it like pro sports, make it so you have a deadline to get things done and you can't tamper with coaches until after the season.
Yeah.
I mean, we're paying you anyway. Let's just call it what it is. Pro sports. Stop messing around.
So, Bo, now that you see the lineup here, what do you think? Ohio State or the field? Bo?
I'm gonna go with the field. I actually think there's a legitimate chance that A&M knocks Ohio State off.
Yep.
I think A&M has a real shot at that.
Look at that. Look, boy, did you see it?
A&M's get spanked by Miami.
I think they will have a tougher time with Miami than they would with Ohio State, matchup-wise. I think Miami could very well beat A&M, but if A&M gets past them, I could see them taking out Ohio State.
Bill, what do you think here?
I mean, first of all, math says the field, but
Yeah.
did we not just watch after everyone said India had no chance, which I don't know why people thought that. Like I told you guys, and anyone who listened, the best defensive line I've seen all year is not in the SEC, it's Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And Ohio State has a good defense, but the best defensive line I've seen all year is Indiana's. I don't know how many different times I have to say this to people. Why would I take Ohio State? They're a good team, but they're clearly not unbeatable.
Mhm.
Dave?
So you're going to have to say it at least until the Rose Bowl.
I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. I mean, I guess it's the name recognition factor. Like people still can't quite align the team that they're seeing that is just chewing up everything in its path with Indiana. Like they can't believe that's Indiana. Well, believe it, people. That's Indiana.
Dave?
Well, I mean, one is, I mean, I agree with Bill is that arithmetic says that the field. Now, Indiana did beat Ohio State. I don't think that they would beat them the second time. If Ohio State ends up playing Indiana again, I would pick Ohio State. I would think that they would win. But some of I mean, Ohio State showed that they're vulnerable, that they can lose. So I would say that Ohio State probably has the best chances of repeating, of being the national championship. But it wouldn't be surprising to see somebody else come up and beat them because Indiana showed them the way.
All right, Don, put a stop to this madness. What are these guys talking? Texas A&M, India? What the?
Well, so A&M and we know that Texas is a 3-loss team, much like Alabama, but Texas pretty much just like dominated A&M. It was worse than the score. 2 weeks before that, A&M was down 31-0 to South Carolina. Now, if they get behind like that, Ohio State or whoever they play, Miami, it's not South Carolina. They're not going to allow that comeback. A&M, their defense, they allow run. They allowed UTSA to run over 200 yards rushing.
Yep.
So A&M, and if you look at their SEC schedule, they played the worst teams in the SEC. I mean, that's just. I mean, they didn't play Georgia, they didn't play Alabama, they didn't play Tennessee, didn't play Ole Miss. You know, so A&M is what's the word I'm looking for? They're
Hothouse
Tiger.
Flying. Yeah.
Paper Tiger. There you go.
And
So
You got
no,
some fool's gold over there?
I am a Marcel Reed fan. I think he's a good quarterback. He'll probably play on Sundays, but and so Casey Kipshawn's a good wide receiver.
Okay, so
But yeah, they're I don't trust their coaching staff to win many more games. But I think they might be a point. Can Ohio State beat Indiana twice? I don't know. That's the
you mean can Indiana beat Ohio State twice?
yeah. Well, yeah. That's what I meant. It's gonna be hard to do. Now we saw the rematch between Georgia and Alabama, and that went pretty much like I thought it would. If you're going to beat someone unexpectedly, do it first part of the season, like first 4 weeks. At this time, everyone's seen film. Everyone has tendencies worked out. You've been scouted, and it's real hard to do.
So you've been scouted, you've been measured,
Yep.
found wanting, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, guys. So let's talk Week 14. I mean,
Hey, James.
Yes, go ahead.
Before you leave college football, I just wanted to mention the Penn State hiring of Matt Campbell. And, there was some consternation about, hey, they're losing all these candidates. And they ended up with Matt Campbell from Iowa State. He signed an 8-year contract, I think worth like $10 to $12 million a year, which is pretty darn good. That might have been why he was so tearful during his opening press conference. But Campbell, he's been around. I mean, he was with Iowa State, I think, for 10 years. And so unless he really lays an egg, he might be with Penn State for the full 8 years of that contract.
Hey, Matt Campbell is a great coach. I'm telling you right now. Penn State did good.
Yeah, and he's going to have a lot of resources there, more than he had at Iowa State for sure. And he's retaining Terry Smith.
Yep.
Now, Terry Smith is from outside of Pittsburgh. He went to Gateway High School. And then I didn't realize this, but Matt Campbell is from Carmichael's down in southwestern Pennsylvania near Fredericktown, not far from where I went to college. So another Western Pennsylvania guy that they got in there. So it's going to be interesting. And then the last thing that I'll mention, he's not the first Iowa State head coach that Penn State has poached.
Right.
And he actually had an interview for 45 minutes with the first Iowa State head coach that Penn State's coached. And if he does half as well as Cale Sanders, Penn State football, or Cale Sanderson, Penn State football is in good hands.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something else about Matt Campbell. In the old Big 12, two coaches that could scout talent and develop it and win without resources was Iowa State and Oklahoma State.
Let's not forget Bill Snyder.
Yeah, Snyder. Yeah. So some of those schools with state in the name. But I mean, Matt Campbell found the guy. What's his name? Brock Purdy, and offered him a scholarship. Now he's, playing in San Francisco. So he can recruit. I don't know. He might have a little learning curve, of, like recruiting the 4 and 5 stars because he's been doing the 3 and 2 stars. But he finds players. I mean, he does, and so. And I think as far as Iowa State, he's gone as far as he could go with Iowa State. Unfortunately, you're kind of limited. With Penn State, the ceiling is much higher.
Much higher.
Much higher, yes.
Yeah, much higher. It is kind of interesting. I have heard that a lot of Penn State players are also in the transfer portal to Virginia Tech. But hopefully we can get Jeffrey on next week and talk a little bit about that. As you guys know, I already announced that next week will be our last live show of the year. So, Dave, I guess you're going to have to reading some emails these next couple of weeks.
Yeah. But I mean, some people, Demetrius has sent emails or texts, and so has Don. So
yeah.
whoever wants to do that, if you email to the chain or text it, I'll make sure to record it.
Yeah. We use a DraftKings Sportsbook. If you guys want to go there, you can use the odds from there. Let's see. All right, getting on to week 14. Bo, I got to talk to you about this one here. What? The Colts have put Phillip Rivers, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, on the taxi squad. Now they still haven't really committed to saying that Phillip will be the starter, but is this kind of, an old, middle finger to the talent that's supposedly, in I guess the quarterback pool here. I mean, Phillip Rivers, really? Yeah, I thought it was, kind of an abomination when we had to go get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's wild about it is he hasn't taken a snap in 5 years. So, I mean, that's probably the biggest question mark. Obviously, they liked him there. If you remember the last time he was there, he had 11 wins, threw for 4,000 yards. So, I mean, they failed in the playoffs, but I mean, like, he had a great last season there. So it's not a shock that they'd kick the tires on it. But, also when you're looking at this team, Anthony Richardson on IR, Daniel Jones done for the year, Riley Leonard, who, played decent with Notre Dame, had a decent, run with Duke, but did have some injury issues. Lo and behold, knee injury, right? So he's day to day. He did have a full practice today, so that's encouraging for them. Then beyond that, you're talking about ripping from the practice squad. You're past the trade deadline, so anybody you'd want to take off someone else, you got to hope they make it through waivers, right? So, I mean, you are sort of in desperation mode. I still don't get it. There's guys out there that have played more recently that probably make more sense. But if you're just trying to get guys in the stands, maybe name recognition helps you there. But he's coming out of retirement to face a Seattle defense that's going to put him right back into retirement if he gets out there. So that is not the defense I'd want to see first. But if you look at the Colts lineup of the teams they got to play, they got a rough schedule. If I'm Phillip Rivers, I'm going to look at that schedule and be like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm cool. Unless he just needs that NFL paycheck because he's got 10 kids. I mean, maybe that's a factor.
Yeah, maybe. Dave, what do you think about this here?
Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers won't be the oldest quarterback in the league after that. I mean, and then I'm not sure, maybe this helps Ben get voted in first available time into the Hall of Fame. But there's, it reminds me of like Vinny Testaverde. Now the thing is Vinny Testaverde had stayed engaged. He was pretty old and was still playing, but he wasn't necessarily coming in off the couch. Or you had guys like George Blanda, I think at one point had to go back in as a quarterback. He had given up quarterbacking and become a kicker, and then he was well into his 40s.
I think he was 48 when he retired.
Yeah, and he had mostly been kicking, but he did play
and
a little bit of
he was 46 the last time he started a game at quarterback.
Yeah, and so it's been done before, but the thing that's different here is, I mean, I don't think Phillip Rivers has he been working out? Has he been passing?
So
with his kids?
If you look at the video I just put down there in the chat, if you play that, you can see exactly how little he's been practicing. Because this was
Well,
from his press
Come
conference.
on, that dad bod is in fashion now. What are you talking?
And the problem is that if I'm the Colts, you're in position to get into the playoffs, and I think Bo was just saying that there's other probably more viable quarterbacks that could help keep them in there, but they got Houston's breathing right down their necks and Jacksonville, so I'm a little bit skeptical, but we'll see what he has. I mean, he was always a very competitive guy when he played, very very competitive.
They're already in the third spot in their own division.
Yeah.
So they're tied for second, but don't have the tiebreaker. So they're actually third in their own division. Like they're going nowhere. They're cooked.
Bill, what's your thoughts here? Philip Rivers, the comeback trail, 1 year contract. Well, what 4-game contract, I guess.
I've never been a father of that many children, but I imagine he's probably looking for excuses to get out of the house. The fact is that physical ability wasn't the biggest part of what made Philip Rivers. So I get it, but I mean, if you're like Ben DiNucci or Kurt Binkert, like, man, what a slap in your face. It's like all these guys who were fairly recently on NFL rosters. Jaron Hall, you must really suck. You know what I mean? Like, this has got to hurt a little bit if you're one of those guys that, was like one of the last cuts or things like that. But I mean, it's a Hollywood movie, right? I mean, like, we're talking about if he comes out there, rallies the troops, and they win 3 out of 4 and make the playoffs, like, literally he should walk right off at the end of that game and sign like a book deal and a movie, right? Because nothing can top that. I guess winning the Super Bowl can top that, but don't push your luck. Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. The fact is that, I mean, I've been a fan of this guy for a long time. I remember when people were debating his throwing motion when he was at NC State, and he had Norm Chow. Shout out to Norm Chow as an offensive coordinator in his time at NC State, which means he was running one of the most complex offenses in all of college football. And I knew he had a good chance to make it, despite the fact that he ran like a woman with her girdle slipping, despite the fact that, he had the throwing motion of a 16th century trebuchet. I knew he had a chance because he had it up here. And this, stays with you for a while. He does probably have to do some pushaways and some, think of girdles. He may want to consider some shapewear. But the fact is that the reason for this, I'll give you 4 words. Brett Rippon, Riley Leonard. Those 4 words is why you're seeing Philip Rivers being brought onto the roster. Even if he was 100% healthy, Riley Leonard terrifies me as a starting quarterback in the NFL, even for a short amount of time. And then your fallback from that, because as was pointed out, he has a sprained knee, it's Brett Rippon. Brett freaking Rippon. Like, that has to send like a cold chill down your spine. I mean, if Philip Rivers says he thinks he can, go out there and do it, you've got to give him a chance, because your other alternative is Brett Rippon.
Yeah.
So, hey, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Philip Rivers? He has a son as a highly recruited quarterback next recruiting cycle, right?
Gunner. Yes, you are 100% correct. Yes, in fact, if this goes well, he might be able to pull like a LeBron James.
Don, what is your thoughts on this, Philip Rivers, the comeback?
I guess Drew Brees wasn't available. I don't know. I mean, Tony Romo. I don't. But no. If he can do it, I think you're right. It'll be a good Hallmark movie. Especially if he does it right around Christmas time. You can make a Hallmark Christmas. Little tearjerker. Be a chick flick. All the women getting their hearts pitter patting and
except Krampus is on the other side of the line in this next game.
That's the only issue. Yes.
And then after the game he runs and has a group hug with 10 kids. Yeah, that
Yes, exactly.
definitely chick material.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and he might get
Yeah.
crammed into his own puss if he's not careful, because as you pointed out,
Right?
escapability was not the hallmark of his game in his prime. For those who might remember Phillip Rivers, when you add to that he is, not double nickels quite, but double nickels minus 11, which is not an ideal number in tackle football. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And that offensive line is going to have to basically play out of their minds. And I'm just letting them know, guys, if you have to hold. We'll do what you got to do.
Yep. It's funny that you say it that way, because in that video clip that I dropped down, he says exactly that. He's just like, oh yeah, I'm not known for running away from anybody anyway.
So Dave, Miles Garrett, he's coming up on that record here. What do you think? To be or not to be?
Yeah, I thought he wanted to be a winner and wasn't chasing individual achievements. That's what he was saying in the off season. He wanted to win games.
He's in Cleveland.
So what James is saying, that ship has sailed. So now he's had to move on to option B.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have no doubt that I think he could destroy the record. One, you got 17 games to do it, and he's motivated to do it. And I think Cleveland is going to play very hard to help him happen, which has me worried in a couple weeks when Pittsburgh has to play in Cleveland, because now you have Shador Sanders, and they're going to want to play around the guy. You don't want to tank and have the guy that you've just designated as your new quarterback. So I think Cleveland they're going to be playing hard, even though they're completely out of it. And a part of that will be Myles Garrett. Will he have 25 sacks? I don't know.
It's a division game, Dave. It doesn't matter what the record is when you're going up to the dog pound.
Well, yeah, but a lot of times if you're completely out of it the way they are, your motivation isn't as great. And I think
that to Cleveland last year.
Yeah.
Well,
I
just but I'll be surprised. I'll put it this way: I'll be surprised if he doesn't break it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I said, Cleveland winning games, but I don't care what the record is. I do not trust when we go to the dog pound, regardless of who the quarterback is and what our record is.
That is their Super Bowl. That's their version of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That almost every year. When's the last time Cleveland's been to the Super Bowl? Yeah, I think I was a kid, maybe. But
no, you weren't. You none of us were. They've never been. Now they won 7 championships in 10 years, but that was a while.
That team is in Baltimore.
Right. Well, it depends on how you count these things. This version of the Browns, I guess, didn't even exist when you were a child. So it depends on how you feel about the whole Ravens-Browns thing. But if you pretend like this is the same Browns and the Ravens were if you pretend that the Ravens were an actual expansion team, which they weren't, and you award, as they were given in the settlement, the history of the original Browns, that Browns team won 7 championships in 10 years.
Yeah.
But it was long pre-Super
Bowl. Yeah. So what do you think, Don?
So I kind of lost the train. I had to give
we're talking about whether Myles Garrett will get the record.
Oh, it's only a matter of time. He'll have it probably in the next 3 weeks. Just my opinion. So we'll see. But going back to the Browns, I don't know if y'all remember it back in the 70s, late 70s, had Brian Sipe I remember one year, because believe it or not, we have quite a few Steeler fans in Texas, and at my elementary school we had some, and I remember the Browns beat Pittsburgh, which was unexpected. And Brian Sipe had like 2-3 touchdowns, and you thought our kids that our Steeler fans at school were going to like slice their wrist. Yeah, I'm over there talking trash. Yeah, wait till you think Brian Sipe's bad. Wait till Earl Campbell runs over your ass. And of course, Pittsburgh shut down Earl Campbell, so I was the one slicing my wrists. But anyway, just glimpses of my childhood.
Yeah, he could do it on Caleb Williams. He could sack him 3 times, and
Exactly.
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
and I do think he gets there. It's also helpful when you have a really good defense that never leaves the field. So, you get a lot of opportunities when your defense is losing time of possession. But I mean, he's playing out of his mind this year. So I fully expect him to get the record before that last game anyway. So he's on a really impressive path, and he's not going to have, Brett Favre just like gift you one. So he's going to have to actually go earn this thing. But impressive play.
Well, I guess Mr. Scott wants us to guess when he's coming on here. So
What are you talking about? This is the best insights I've heard him put. There he is.
That did it. That did it. The man is please start quarterback. It's really that's a shame that Seattle game. I mean, Sam Darnold turned into the real Sam Darnold, and we couldn't do anything about it. I mean, that really was just so frustrating to see. But greetings, happy holidays to you. You missed out. You were in one of the top 3 of our Turkey of the Year. You were in the top 3, and I was the winner because of going with JJ and Kevin McCarthy. I was the winner, but you were right up there, just close from being a Turkey of the Year.
Yeah, I had to miss it. I was on a beach in Mexico. So,
Premature victory lap. Okay, yeah.
No, remember, I live in Seattle. I needed to get away from the rain for a minute.
I'll be joining somebody there very soon from here. As you can see, I'm in the house, but I still. So anyway, greetings, everyone. Greetings.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Scott, what do you think? Does Myles Garrett get that record this year or not?
Well, it's possible, and I wanted to ask. Don brought up something earlier about Brian Sipe, and what that did was it brought a memory to me. I had to go to Orlando years ago for a business meeting, and so one of the people I was meeting with said, our football team trains here at a park. And so, okay, I didn't know you had a football team, but it was the New Jersey Generals team, and they were practicing there, and Herschel Walker, Brian was the quarterback, and I'm just standing there with these guys at this little park. I mean, it wasn't a stadium or anything, and I met all of these people at this park. I mean, it was the actual and they had a bunch of stars on that team. Yep. They had, Brian Sipe, Herschel Walker. I can't remember who else, but he just made me remember that when he brought up Brian Sipe.
I forgot that Brian Sipe played in the USFL. I totally
played
forgot.
Well. Probably not quite as good as Steve Young, not quite as good as Jim Kelly, but I would say maybe in that fight for the 3 to 5 range. Flutie was fantastic there too.
Yeah, that team was stacked and the idea was that they were going to go to the NFL. That was the master plan, but it fizzled out. But.
Well,
there's more to that, but
there is more.
But Mr. Scott, you might as well start us off on our next question. I don't know whether you had a chance to watch that game or not, but is it hurts with the what, 5 turnovers, 2 on 1 play, or is it Brown, or what's
In
happening
case
with
you
the
missed it,
Eagles
here's the recap.
what, what's with those Eagles, Mr. Brown? I mean, Mr. Scott.
Well, I really don't know. I mean, I don't know what's with the whole league, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's I thought Philadelphia was part of the cream of the crop, and boy, this is going to be interesting coming down to the finish. I mean, people who wins this thing, they're going to have to crawl their way. They're going to have to inch their way. And if they have to go to places like Buffalo or Green Bay, pop, 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 game could be over. I mean, I don't, Seattle, I mean, they still have to start. When he gets in the rarefied air, we'll just see how that works.
Oh,
It's true.
the rarefied air. The man came from Minnesota. Jesus. Bill, what's your thoughts here on the Eagles?
Well, having watched that game and having rewatched that game and analyzed what they were doing, first of all, shout out to Jesse Minter. Like, I don't think people talk enough about Jesse Minter as one of the really bright, son of Rick Minter, for those old schoolers. His father was terrific defensive mind and was the head coach at Cincinnati for several years. He's a future head coach. He's a brilliant young defensive mind. Now, that last play, that ends the game, Cam Hart, who's 6'2" 3/4, 207 pounds, a lot of teams thought he would have to move to safety. You could see now why they didn't, right? A lot of what you hear about that sort of Seattle corner is because he can make that play. There's probably 3, maybe 4 corners in the NFL who make that play, right? We would be talking very differently about the Eagles and Jalen Hurts if that ball, because if it isn't tipped, that's a touchdown. Jahan Dotson has badly beaten coverage. He's going to score. Like, that's it. If that ball isn't tipped, they lose that game. Now, there are certainly people who are going to break down that maybe you should have just given it to the back, blah 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 blah. But if you're going to throw it, that's the right read, right? It's a high-low situation. You're asking someone to basically be in 2 places at once, and Cam Hart did it. Now, I mean, that's the crazy thing, is he actually did it. He kind of originally is driving on the flat, the Orlando Gatson in the flat, and then essentially, Mr. Fantastics his way back into the play. It's a fantastic play. Now, the one over the middle to AJ Brown, I'm not in anyone's head. I don't know what happened there, but it looked to me like AJ Brown was trying not to get hit in the ribs and did not.
You didn't like the alligator arms?
A little bit. Once again, I can't say exactly what happened. When you look back at that play a few different ways from different angles, it looks like he sees. I think it's Derwin James coming to collect.
Well, that's why we got the second part of the question. Is it Brown? Because I kind of thought the same thing.
That's what it looked like to me. So I would say that about roughly half of those turnovers cannot be laid squarely at the feet of the quarterback. About half of them can, which is often the case. I think Hurts was pressing in places, but all in all, I mean, as we pointed out, if not for an amazing play by Cam Hart, they still win that game. And we're talking completely differently. So as often it happens, you're not as bad as you look when you lose. You're not as good as you look when you win, right? In some ways, the Chargers also got exposed. If you want to really, break that game down, they got exposed.
I just said Eagles. Didn't say nothing about
I'm just pointing out that it wasn't like the Eagles got like blown out or something.
Yeah.
They turned the ball over that many times and still are a 6'2" 3/4 corner with 32.5-inch arms away from winning that game.
What about gambling? You think is gambling heavy? I don't know why I keep thinking of that. I mean, when you're losing with half points and all of these things, I just wonder. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
really don't.
There's no way gambling is going to get you to like lean backwards and just get your hand on it to tip it to another player. Like, I don't care how talented you are, you're not going to make that happen. That being said, there's 8 turnovers in this game. There easily could have been 12. There were 4 that the offenses got the fumbles back. You had 3 turnovers on one play. Like, this is one of the worst offensive showings. So at least it was on prime time, you know. But yeah, it was terrible. And when you hear, oh, there was 8 turnovers, could have been 12. You're thinking, oh, okay, this played in Buffalo or the Meadowlands or something, right? Where it's snowing or the wicked wind and rain and just terrible. No, you're in LA in a covered field where it's 70. Like, why are we having ball control issues? Like, this was terrible. But that being said, no, the Eagles are actually in some trouble. You're this far into the year and they haven't turned the corner on these offensive issues. And although the defense has played pretty great throughout the season, you can't play offense the way they've been playing it over the last 4 or 5 weeks and expect to do anything in the postseason, because teams are good when you get to the playoffs. So it's a real concern on what it is they're going to be able to do moving forward if they can't kind of get on the same page when it comes to the offense.
What do you think, Dave?
Well, Chargers are a good team and well-coached team. And so one of the things, luckily they got the Raiders up next. And I think part of what they're going to need to do is, I don't know if Jalen Hurts is 100%. At this point in the season, a lot of people have different things. But maybe they need to work on their scheme a little bit just to get some easy passes, high percentage passes, just to get the confidence back in that passing game. And a heavy dose of Saquon Barkley.
That's it. Yes.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding.
And if they can take care of business convincingly against the Raiders, not a very good team, but then all of a sudden that will start to maybe start to take away some of the doubts about the team. But I mean, the Chargers is a good team, so hey, but the ball handling, maybe it was too hot. It was their hands were too sweaty.
The weather was too perfect.
Yeah,
but I think that the coordinator needs to go back and come up with a scheme, a high percentage scheme, just to build their confidence back up. And I think they should right the ship here quickly.
What do you think, Don?
So let me ask you this. All right. Yeah, you're going to get some momentum because you're going to play some trash teams, right? You're going to play the Raiders, who can beat themselves. Like, they don't even have to get off the plane. Somehow they'll lose. And then you play Washington twice, who literally has no one left healthy on the roster. So the only actual game that is going to be hard in the next 4 games is Buffalo. So, I mean, they're going to win their division for sure. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer.
They
Dallas
better.
went out, and you'd have to have these bad teams beat the Eagles, which is unlikely. So when you look at that, yeah, you beat up on some bad teams. I don't know if that's going to prepare you to play anybody that's in front of you.
Well, I mean, there is a thing about steel sharpening steel, but on the other hand, a lot of the game is mental,
Sure.
and it's your level of confidence. And now, conversely, if they lose to a couple of these teams, then I think the Eagles are really in trouble. But I think a lot of sports, a lot of it is the mental game. And if you go into it confident, if you build your confidence and take care of business here at the end of the season like you should, then they might be in better shape than some of the teams that are having to have really competitive scraps that takes a lot of juice out of you.
What do you think, Don?
A different way to look at it.
No. I'm with you. And if the teams were a little bit better, I could even get with it. But the couple of teams they're going to play 3 times, I mean, your finger can cut through a block of butter. So that's not really steel sharpening steel. I mean, that's just like, okay, we showed up, we won, thanks for playing. Although, don't get me wrong, as bad as they've been on offense, the Raiders could legitimately upset them.
Don, what do you think here? Are they, I mean, you guys, Jerry's guys still has to play him, I believe, one more time, right?
Yep, I believe so. Yeah, so, the Eagles, they're a team that, if you go back and look at my picks every week, I usually pick them, but they're doing to me what Buffalo's been doing to me lately, so I don't know. I was going to ask Bill this, because if anyone on this panel will know, Bill will. Has there ever been a year where 2 teams from the previous Super Bowl did not make the playoffs?
Yes, but it's been a while.
Yeah, because the Chiefs are in danger, and I think Philly will be in danger if they don't right the ship soon. So I think that's something to look for. I'm like, damn, those are teams. I figured they would maybe repeat. I don't know, but yeah, I think y'all hit the nail on the head when you said that they need to uncork Saquon and get him run like he did last year. I mean,
32 touches. If he gets 32 touches in every game going forward, they will win quite possibly all of them.
Yeah.
So
sometimes the game can be simple.
Yeah. Bo, are you still leaving us at 7?
I will stay as long as I can.
Okay. Then let me come to you then, because we have the Seahawks, the Rams, and the 49ers. Does the NFC West get 3 teams in, Bo?
So it'll be tough because they do kind of play each other before the end, which will probably open the door for probably one other North team to sneak in there. That being said, they definitely could. The Rams and the Seahawks are going to be in. It's just going to be whether or not all of the injuries finally catch up with the Niners. They've been somehow winning games despite people getting on the field in wheelchairs, but eventually you feel like that has to get them. But yeah, I could see all 3 of these teams. Like in my personal power rankings, I have 3 NFC West teams in the top 6. So,
and the 49ers are coming off a bye, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
A much needed buy for them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they actually get some of their players back this time around.
They're getting some back. Yep.
In theory, the Niners should actually be a little bit better than they've been, and they've been winning. So,
well, they got they play Tennessee coming out of the bye.
Yeah.
Then you have the Rivers Colts.
Yep.
Then the Bears, and then
I'm thinking of suiting up. I really am. I mean, I could probably go in for a play or 2. I mean, I could, pull a face guard or something, cause a failure. 44 years old. 40. How? This reminds me of the Kansas City Royals years ago. They picked a manager that was in his 80s. I can't remember what the guy's name was, but why is this happening? Why Phillip Rivers of all people? I don't. Hasn't played in 10 years, maybe?
5
years. 5.
Yeah.
10 is the number of kids he has.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So, Bill, the Bears, they fall from number 1 to number 7.
Yep.
Are they still going to make the playoffs?
I think so. I mean, it's not a guarantee by stretch of the imagination, but I believe that they're going through those growing pains when you go from being a team where there's no expectations and then the expectations got hit. Oh, and Don, to answer your question, it was the Raiders and Buccaneers was the last time that either of the teams were in the playoffs the following year after being in the Super Bowl. But the fact of the matter is that the Bears, somebody mentioned this earlier, right? They match up very well with particular teams and very poorly with other teams. And you can tell which teams are which when you see them play them. they can absolutely boat race certain teams, and they can positively look, frankly, intimidated by other teams. The fact is that there are still parts of the team that are almost untouched in terms of getting attention from their general manager. And I want to make it clear, I was one of the people who was excited about Ryan Poles when he first got the job. I had seen what he had done in his previous stops. He did some good things in Denver, and he's a bright guy. I'm a little perplexed by how he's approached certain positions on the team, though, particularly the interior offensive line. He's an old offensive guard himself. I was a little, I don't know. I had to scratch what's left of my head and hair as I looked at how that part of the team is constructed. And maybe they get it fixed in the offseason. But Ben Johnson, shout out to him, has mostly worked around it. And a lot of what he does, and I've written a whole article about it, they do some fascinating things in their blocking scheme. I think it's the most interesting blocking scheme in all of pro football is what Ben Johnson does with his. And he's even tweaked it since his time with the Lions. Perhaps because he had to, because the Lions had really, really terrific interior offensive linemen, and the Bears, not so much. So I think that's part of what you're seeing revealed. So whenever they face teams that have at least one, and God help them, two dominant defensive line presence, it unravels. Like the whole thing unravels. And then they do a great job of attacking zone. But if you can straight up play good old-fashioned press man and you have the horses to get away with it, they struggle. So we said it's styles make fights. The teams that can take away the things that are their bread and butter, they don't play well left-handed, as they say. They aren't as good at going to the whatever their other thing is. It isn't something they want to do because the other thing isn't very well developed. They are terrific in that rhythm passing. They have some great RPO and then RPO plus, where there's like an extra package of plays attached that go beyond where they even give another set of options off the regular options. Once again, wrote a whole article about it. Check it out on Team MBS Media. I don't have time to get into it now. But when those things aren't there, they struggle.
Okay. Mr. Scott, shut out 1 week. This week, you returned the favor. What happened?
Well, I'll get into that, but I did want to, before Bo ducks out, kind of like Jimmy Young used to do when he fought George Foreman, just duck through the ropes and just duck. But I wanted to get a quick Sam Darnold assessment. I don't know if he's already given that, but I just very curious about that.
Oh yeah, no, totally did. You should show up on time. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I like what I'm seeing out of him. He's playing better than I thought he was going to. So I had not overly high expectations, right? Because when he was playing for Minnesota, it was the first year that we saw him really put it together, right? He had some decent starts when he was in Carolina. He had an overnighter with the Niners, so didn't really do anything there. Prior to that, it was all bad tape, right? So he gets to Minnesota. He plays out of his mind. Your offensive line starts to fail at the end of the year because of injuries. And then all of a sudden, he was terrible, right? So when he was getting brought over to Seattle, I was just like, man, our offensive line is hot trash. Been bottom 5 for, 5+ years. I was like, man, this is probably not going to be great. I'd rather keep Geno. Now, hindsight, it's 2020, right? Geno has been stinking it up with the Raiders. And so I'm not sad that he moved on. And Darnold, we actually addressed a good portion of our offensive line, and Darnold has done well. When the line has broke down, he's made mistakes. He's thrown picks. At the same time, he is lighting it up as far as yardage also. So I'm pleasantly surprised with what I'm seeing. I was never overly high on the acquisition. So he is exceeding what my expectations were. I actually thought this was a 10-win team. They're currently sitting at 10 wins. So they're most likely going to go beyond what I thought this team was going to be capable of anyway. I thought they were a 10-win wild card team that is probably like a first round exit. They are looking more like a potential division winner that could end up in the championship game. So I'm happy with where this team is headed.
No, I appreciate that. You know, I mean, first, unbiased opinion. I do appreciate that. I've seen that. I wish he was still here, to tell you the truth, but you know, that's another thing.
Yeah, McCarthy has not been that dude for you.
To say the least. I mean, but you know, getting back to McCarthy, I mean, it's kind of like what he did in college. For one thing, he was a great hander offer, and I mean that's pretty much what he's been doing for us. I mean, you have a Jefferson who catches one pass for 4 yards. I mean, come on now, you have, and that can't all be on him. I mean, it has to be your scheme, it has to be, you know, your offense, your play calling, all of these kind of things, but. I mean, that's a real frustrating thing when you have an ace and you don't play it. I mean, it's kind of on you.
I guess let me ask you this, since we're off on a tangent anyway, and maybe I'm not looking at this right, but he doesn't seem to go through his progressions. Like he seems to be that one, maybe second read, and then he's done. So that obviously he wasn't asked to do a lot with Michigan, right? They had a good defense. He handed the ball off a lot. He had to be special a couple of times, maybe. But he doesn't seem to get through his reads. And you have absolute race cars for receivers that he just can't find.
You know, along with that, one of the things that they've been saying is really his mechanics. You know, how he sets up. I mean, so many of his throws, the guy has been open, but even when he completes some of them, they have to make a circus catch, you know, to catch the ball. It's not like he can just kind of lay back and lay some of these easy tosses in, like to the flat or whatever. Everything seems to be kind of in a rush. So you know, playoff looks like that's kind of in the rearview mirror now. And then they play Dallas. I'm hoping to hear something from Don about that game. You know, Dallas is still dangerous. But yeah, JJ he's just doesn't seem to be grown into the real starting role that they've been kind of gearing up for him to do. And it's been really, and then what happens with that is then you got your players. Are they going to really play for him? You know, then it gets to the point where, you know, the frustration sets in, and I've seen some of that in some of those games. So, you know, we'll see. This Dallas one, this is going to be very, very interesting because they still have talent on that team, and we'll see what what JJ can do. If they lose this game, I mean, that's, you know, it's a wrap for this year, which it probably is already, but we'll see.
Well, and Dallas's defense is actually a lot better than it's been. So, like they are progressing the right direction. A little too late in the game, but they are getting better as the season goes. I do got to pop out.
Didn't they just give up 44 points, Bo?
I'm saying that they're better than how they started. Their defense was the worst in the league at the beginning. So, you know, everything is, you know, a step forward, right? But I do got to pop out. Our storm is starting to come through, so my lights in here are flickering, which means my router will probably die at some point, and then I'll just poof, be gone. So let me give you my last thoughts real quick. So I work with Toys for Tots every year. I have for 20 plus years, and the drop location for us, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, is going to be Crucible Brewing. I do my Thursday night show from that brewery. And the cool thing is if you come and bring your unwrapped new toy to Crucible on the 3 dates that I'm going to be there, which is going to be tomorrow, Saturday, and the following Thursday, your second beer is free when you bring that toy. So you get an extra beer, you get to watch some football and talk ball with me if you're there, and it helps kids in the area. Of course, if you're not here in the Pacific Northwest, still go get a new unwrapped toy, deliver it to one of the drop spots for Toys for Tots in your area. It goes to a great cause all around the country.
Thank you so much, Bo, for that. We appreciate it. So hopefully we'll be able to get you in next week for the last show of the year. And hey, we appreciate your time, Bo. You have a good night.
Yep.
Take care,
it easy,
Bo.
guys.
And
Thanks
be
for having me.
safe. Be safe more than anything else.
I'm going to go build a fire right now, actually, just in case.
All right.
guys.
All right.
Good night.
Don, everybody's talking about Dallas, and I guess the resurgency since they have added those two guys on the defense, even though they did give up 44 this time. So Jerry's guys lose, but the Texans maybe knock Kansas City out of the playoffs. But they do make it a lot tougher. So, Jerry, tell us. Let's talk a little Texas football here. I mean, I'm sorry.
Well, I'll talk Texans and I'll talk Dallas. Either one or both.
You can talk both.
Yeah.
Texas is a big state. You're allowed.
So I'll start off with the Houston Texans. This team is, they play without Stroud and they won. Now they have Stroud back, and I'm all in on the Texans right now. They're playing good football. They're not really dominating anybody, but they do just enough to win, and I don't think they've reached their ceiling yet. I'm going to be, watching bated breath, see how it all comes out, as far as playoffs come along. And so the AFC is tough. I think it's much tougher than NFC, but hopefully the Texans will continue their ways. Dallas, again, one day they're playing like contenders, one day they're playing like pretenders. We said their defense is playing much better, and that's in some areas, yes. They need some help in that back seven. I think Joseph Asai, coming back from that knee injury he had last year, is playing much more intense, and he's becoming like a poor man's Singletary, for lack of a better word, or maybe a poor man's Lawrence Taylor. I don't know, but he's a poor man's something. But he missed the last 2 years, so I think as he plays more now, it's off that rust, he'll be one of the top linebackers in the conference. But I'm eager to see how both Texans and Cowboys perform this week, because these are games they should probably win, but you just never know. You never know, especially Dallas. You never know.
Okay.
They'll probably shit themselves.
And I think that's a Sunday night game too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Yeah, that's Sunday night. That's the Sunday night game. We'll be talking about that. The Vikings are getting 5.5, but we'll talk about that later. So, Dave, I don't know. You were at the game in person, right? You went to the game, right?
No, the game was in Baltimore, but I went up to Pittsburgh to a watch party at the Keeler County.
Well, that last kiss that Mike Tomlin gave to the camera, and maybe it's just me, but that to me was more like one of those kiss my grits type of kisses, rather than the Steelers pulled out a win. Tomlin looks like he's going to continue that streak of not having a losing season.
He's going to continue to run that same game. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's your record again? 4 and what? Anyway, so Uh, what's your thoughts here, Dave? It does seem like the Steelers. We play two teams with losing records: the Browns and the Fins. What's your thoughts here? Now that we've seemed to recovered the season.
Well, I wouldn't say the season's recovered. They still got some business to go. But first with the game, uh, I got to meet Louis Lips. The Steelers had a watch party at Tequila Cowboys, and Louis Lips was in there to get the team or the fans that were there, probably 150 of us, fired up. But I think with Tomlin, I think it was as much relief as anything. I mean, they were traveling to Baltimore. Baltimore was coming off of a Thursday night game, so they had 3 days of extra rest. They were a healthier team. They had their full roster back. Um, and it's a better roster. It's a stronger team than Pittsburgh's roster. And everybody was expecting and everybody wanted Pittsburgh to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And for the month of November, the Steelers did not have a single pass that traveled more than 20 yards, 20 air yards. The very first pass of the game was a 52-yard completion to DK Metcalf. And Aaron Rodgers it's the best game that I've seen him play as a Steeler. He was really, his pocket awareness was very, very good. He was I don't think he was sacked. And they came out with a passing game where I think Baltimore was expecting Pittsburgh to attempt to run. Now, on the defensive side, Pittsburgh's defense gave up over 200 yards of rushing. They held Derrick Henry to 90 yards, but Baltimore had over 200, I think it was 217 yards rushing. So that's still the Achilles heel. So when we look at these two teams, you mentioned the two losing teams they have on the schedule. Cleveland, that is going to be their Super Bowl. That game in Cleveland, they're going to do everything they can to be a spoiler to beat the Steelers. That's what they do every year against the Steelers. That's since they don't make it to the playoffs that often, their Super Bowl is playing the Steelers. So that's going to be a tough game. But before that, they have to play Miami Monday night. They're 6-7. Miami's won 4 games in a row. They beat Buffalo. And so Miami is all of a sudden surging. Now, a couple things about that game. It's supposed to be in the 20s. I'm going to be up at the game. It's a Monday night game. Tua is 0-4, 0-6 in games where it's 40 degrees or colder. The Miami Dolphins, since 2017, are 0-11 in games where it's 40 degrees or colder. Now, they did pummel the Jets when it was 41 degrees. And here's why I don't think it's as big of a problem for Miami. Cold games usually favor the team that has a better run game. And they got this Arcane who he's leading the league 5.8 yards a carry. And he did get like a bit of a rib injury, I think, in the game, but they're expecting him to be playing against Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh's going to have their hands full to beat Miami because they're trying to get a wild card spot. They're not out of it yet. So, but in terms of the Steelers, I think that they showed a great scheme. I think that they kind of fooled Baltimore, who was expecting Pittsburgh to run. And you had some great defensive performances, individual performances by Brandon Eccles, James Pierre, guys that you would not expect to be, leading the team. And then Alex Highsmith had a walk-off sack to finish the game. So, yeah, the whole thing with Mike Tomlin is he tries not to create blackboard material. Although in his Tomlin Tuesday, he did mention that he was asked about calls in the NFL, and he says that he doesn't do that. He just tries to have enough plays to overcome that type of stuff, which some people took it as a shot at John Harbaugh. But I mean, for Pittsburgh, that was a huge, huge win. It can't be underestimated. They lose to Baltimore, and their chances of making it to the playoffs are very, very dim in that. If they take care of business against Miami, and in fact, if they beat Cleveland and they beat Baltimore, I think that they're in.
If they beat Cleveland,
because Baltimore has 8 losses now.
Right.
And they would lose the tie. They would lose the tiebreaker if they beat Boston, if they beat Baltimore twice.
Right.
So, yeah. But it's going to be interesting, like you said. But doing the opposite of Chicago, I think Pittsburgh went from what 8, or was it 8 to back to number 1? I think we were in the 8th spot.
No, they were outside the playoff picture. Now they're the 4 seed.
Yeah.
If they keep winning, there'll be a lot of disappointed people.
Yes.
There'll be a lot of disappointed people if they keep winning. So.
Yeah, Minnesota won't be able to try to poach our coach. But okay, guys. Well, let's give us a recap.
You were up there on the Turkey of the Year too. You were a finalist.
So go ahead, Dave. Catch us up here. Tell us where we're at.
So last week,
the big guy, huh?
Well, Reggie only had 12 right. And James, you only had 13, as well as Bill. Bill, the last couple of weeks has not been doing well.
Nope.
But Don, you had 17 correct, which was 60.7%. Really, really well done.
Kudos.
I think myself and Anthony, we had 16, so we had 57.1% correct last week. So we would have been in the black. For the season, I'm in 6th place with 46.6% of correct answers. Demetrius is in 5th, 47.4%, but there's been some changes. James, you're now down to 4th place, 50.5%. Anthony, you went ahead of James. You're in 3rd with 51.1%. Don, you're in 2nd with 51.4%. And Bill, you've been dropping, but you're still at 53.1%. And you've been in the lead, I think, since week 3.
Okay. All right.
So are you allowed
to use these last few weeks are all important to get your
are you allowed to use AI and computers and
you can use anything you want. You can get an abacus if you want.
You can take your shoes off if it helps.
you could use any of the tools that are available to you. It hasn't helped me in Vegas, so I don't know. But, do what you got to do. So tomorrow night we have a game, and we've been missing Reggie these last couple of weeks. But we had the Falcons. They're getting 4.5 points. They're playing the Bucks, and the over/under is 44.5. And I'm going to start with you, Mr. Scott.
Well, I have to take the Bucks. I don't like what I've seen of Cousins at all. So I don't, good riddance. So I'm going to take the Bucks. And what's the under and over?
44.5.
I'll take it under.
Kurt managed to throw 2 more interceptions last week. I don't think he had any TDs. It says he only scored 3 field goals. No, he didn't. Staying with you, Mr. Scott, we have the Clowns. They're getting 7.5, and they're playing the Bears, whom you call fraudulent. And the over/under is 39.5, Mr. Scott.
You know, I'm gonna ride with I want to ride with Shador in the over. I mean, I've seen enough where he plays loose enough. I mean, what does he have to lose to go out there and throw the ball around, run a little bit? Yeah, I'll take the Browns in the over. Yeah.
Okay. Bill, Falcons, Bucks.
I will take the Bucks and the over, and I will take the Bears and the over.
Okay. Don.
I'm gonna take the Bucks in the under, and you know what? Mr. Scott has inspired me. I'll take the Browns in the under.
Okay. I'm gonna take the Bucks and the under, and I'm gonna take the Bears and the over. So that leaves on you, Dave.
Okay. Well, we're all for Tampa Bay. Bill took an over, but I'm taking Tampa Bay in the under. Mayfield, I think he's hurt, so I'm going to take Tampa Bay in the under. And then the next game, Chicago and Cleveland. Cleveland at Chicago. Garrett is going to be trying to get his 3 sacks to break the record. So maybe he'll do it against Chicago. I'm going to take it. And Chicago has a tough end of the season. They might not make the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting. Important game for them to win, but and they might win this game. But I'm going to take Cleveland in the points and the under.
All righty. Let's see. Okay, so staying with you, we have the Not Yets. They're getting 12.5. They're playing at the Jaguars, and they're running 41.5.
Wow. I'm still. It's a huge spread, but the quarterback situation with the Jets is. I'm going to take Jacksonville in the over.
Okay. And we have the Bills minus 1.5. They're giving the Pats 1.5, and they're playing at New England. The over/under is 50.5.
Man, I think Mike Vrabel's done a great job. He does a good job with defense, but Buffalo, I think they want to come in and prove something. And a lot of people have said New England is their schedule wasn't the hardest. I'm going to take Buffalo in the over in this game.
Okay. Don.
Let's see. What's over under for New England and Buffalo?
The over/under for New England is 50.5.
Ooh. I'm going to take New England in the under.
Okay. And you got
that was my original pick, and I went completely in reverse.
And you got the Jets getting 12.5 against the Jaguars, but the over/under is only 41.5.
I'll go the Jets in the over. I'm sorry. The Jags in the over.
Okay. I'm going to follow that car, Bill. Don, Dave. I'm going to follow that. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the Bills, but I'm going to take the Bills in the under. I think weather might have a factor in this, but I am going to take the Jags at home, and I like the under in that one too. Bill, I think it's on you.
Okay. I will take the Patriots, and the under is 51.5 or just 50?
50.5.
50 and a half. It's an outdoor game. I'll still take, Patriots in the under. It'd be close, though, to hitting. And then the
Jaguars,
Jets are
the
in
Jets,
12 and a half.
the Jets are getting 12 and a half. They're playing at the Jaguars, and the over under is 41 and a half.
I will take the Jets and the under.
Mr. Scott,
Yeah.
Jets and Jags. Jets getting 12 and a half.
Yeah, the Jags have slipped up on me all year. I mean, they just seem to be better than I want to give them credit for, but I'll take them in the over. Jags in the over.
Okay, and what about the Bills giving the Patriots 1.5 and over under 50 and a half?
Boy, the Bills, they're almost like Kansas City. They have to keep taking them until they cut their heads off. And so I have to take the Bills, and 50 and a half is a lot. So I'll take the Bills in the under.
And you took the Jags, and you took the Jaguars in the Jets Jaguars game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Staying with you, Mr. Scott. We still have Mr. Brissett. He's getting 9.5. They're playing the Texans, and the over/under is 42.5. Mr. Scott.
Yeah, Brissett. It seems like he wants to keep that job. I mean, and run the world's tallest midget out of town. So I mean, I'm going to take that 9.5 points. And Texans, they play good D, and it's that one's. I'm going to take it over. I think still 42.5 is kind of low, so I'll take it over.
All right, and a game that really means a lot to us. We have the Ratbirds. They're giving the Bungles 2.5, Mr. Scott, and the over/under is 52.5.
Boy, something seems to be wrong with the Redbirds. I don't know what it is. I mean, and they could be eliminated, I think, if they lose this.
Could be.
Oh man, well, I have to stay with the Kansas City thing till they cut their heads off. I mean, I'm gonna take Baltimore in the under.
Okay. Bill.
Let's see. So the first of those two games was the Cardinals and Texans, and the Cardinals are getting 9.5. Okay.
Yes.
So, and this is in the desert?
Nope. This is at the Texans.
Oh, okay.
And the is 42.5.
Okay. I will take the Texans and the over. It's 42.5. Yeah, Texans and the over.
Yeah.
And I will take the Bengals and the under.
Okay. Dave.
Okay, Houston is, they're making their push. They got Stroud back. I'm going to take Houston in the under. And in the other game, Lamar Jackson, he hasn't been running. I think he's been playing in the pocket. I don't think he's 100%, but they can score points. And Cincinnati's defense stinks. But Cincinnati can score points, and Baltimore's defense isn't great. So I'm going to take Baltimore in the over.
Okay. I'm going to take the Texans and the under, and I'm going to take the Bungles and the under. Let's see.
That'd be nice.
Is it on you, Dave? I
It's
believe.
on me.
Oh, it's on Don. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the Texans in the over, and I'm going to take Cincinnati and the over.
Okay. Okay, Don, we got the Raiders, and they're getting 11.5.
Ooh.
They're playing at the Eagles, but the over-under is only 38.5.
Okay, Eagles going to be pissed. So they're at home. I'm going to take the Eagles in the over.
Okay. And another important game in this division, even though both of them seem to be out of it, I don't think, Mr. Scott, you might want to give the Commanders a call. I don't know. The Commanders are giving the Giants 2.5, Don, and the over-under is 47.5.
I'll go to New York in the under.
Okay. I'm going to take the Eagles and the over, and I'm going to take the Giants and the under. Let's see. Is it you, Dave?
All right. I'm going to I agree with Don. I think Philly has a lot to prove, and they're going to want to really put the pedal to the metal. So I'm taking Philly in the over. And between the Giants and Washington, I don't think Daniels is playing. He's out, right? So I'm going to take the Giants in the under.
Okay. Mr. Scott.
Yeah, I'll take the Eagles in the over. And I was kind of liking the Giants, but that running back, boy, that guy was looking like John Riggins for a while. I can't think of what was his name.
Cameron Scatterbo
Man, that guy was
from
looking like
Sacramento State by way of Arizona State.
Yeah, he was running around there like John Riggins, and then he got hurt. So
Out for the year.
I'll still take the Giants in the under.
Okay. Bill.
I will take the Eagles and the over, and I will take the Giants and the under.
Okay.
You know what? We all have exactly the same picks on those two games.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's
It doesn't happen too often.
Who went first? Anyway.
I think Don did. Was it
Don
Don?
did.
Yeah. Okay. We all followed Don's cap.
Well,
Okay,
To
Bill.
your peril.
Okay, Bill. We got the Chargers, and they're getting 4.5. They're playing at the Chiefs, but the over/under is only 41.5.
First of all, I think it's insane that the Chargers are getting points. So weird. But yeah, I mean, that feels like giving away free money. Yeah, so I will definitely take the Chargers and the points. And this is an outdoor game, right? So it's an outdoor game. 41.5. That's probably
And they're
pretty close.
playing at the Chiefs.
Right. So it's like I said, it's an outdoor game. So it's a cold weather outdoor game. I will take the Chargers in the under.
Chargers don't usually do too well outdoors. I'm going to take the Chiefs. Plus, they got their backs up against the wall. I'm going to take the Chiefs and the over. Bill, we got the Colts getting 13.5. They're playing the Seahawks, and the over/under is 42.5.
I will take the Colts in the under. I think the Seahawks win it, but I don't think they win it by 2 touchdowns.
Well, I'm going to take Seattle and the under here. So Don,
I want to take Seattle in the over.
okay.
And what was the over under on the other game?
Chiefs Chargers over under was 41.5. Chargers getting 4.5.
I'll go Chargers in the over.
I'm going to take the Chiefs and the over here.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, and you got me with the Seahawks, right? I'm
Yep,
taking
Seattle in the under.
Yep. Okay, so it's on you then, Dave.
Kansas City, man, they're going to want to win this game, and it's at Kansas. I'm going to take the Chargers in the over. I just can't. And in the other game, I mean, that's a huge spread. Indiana is like they're in playoff contention. I just don't know what's going on with quarterbacks. So I'm taking Seattle in the under.
I think that's why the spread is so much, because they don't know who the quarterback's going to be either, at least not as of today. It's not, Rivers is on the taxi squad, but he's not named as the starter. Daniel Jones is supposedly hurt, but they say he might be day to day, but we'll see. But I think that's the reason for the spread.
No. He's not day to day. He has a torn Achilles.
Oh, well, okay. Well, so
You mean Riley Leonard?
That's it.
Daniel Jones is not going to be
Daniel Jones is done for the year and part of next year, I believe.
Probably.
Yeah. So who did I leave off on here?
Anthony. Need Anthony.
Okay, Anthony and Bill, right?
No, just Anthony.
Okay, Mr. Scott, you got the floor.
Well, I'm gonna take the Chiefs until they're knocked out. We don't have
there you go.
They're at home. You
Okay.
can knock them out. And the Chargers are good though. That's gonna be a good game. I'm gonna take the Chiefs in the over.
Okay.
It's funny, the weather, and then the Colts. Gosh, Jonathan Taylor.
He's out too, isn't he?
No, Jonathan Taylor's not out.
He's not out. He's just been underperforming.
That's their offense. No, he's near the league.
He's the number one running back in the NFL, so I wouldn't call that underperforming.
Yeah,
he's been under for his last couple games. That I put it like that. Since Daniel Jones has been having problems, because I thought that, it's funny that the three best backs in the league that you would have thought, even though you say, Jonathan is leading the league, but I think, he's slowly wearing down just because he has to carry so much of the load. But go ahead, Mr. Scott. Who you got here?
Well, when you have a no-brand quarterback, I can't take a team like that where they have an off-brand type quarterback. I don't take.
Are you talking about Sam Darnold or?
No, Colts.
Okay.
Yeah, they have one of these, generic people, and they don't never do good when they come right in. So I'm going to take Seattle and maybe the under on that one.
Okay. Staying with you here, Mr. Scott, we got the Titans, and they're getting 12.5. They're playing at the 49ers, and the over-under is 44.5.
49ers are at home. They seem to be getting healthy. Maybe they want to make a push. I'll take the 49ers and the under.
And we have the Packers. They're giving the Broncos 2.5. The Broncos are playing at home. The over-under is 43.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers. I'll take the Packers on the under.
Okay. Bill.
Mile High is a very difficult place, but
I will take the 49ers and the under, and I will take the Packers and the under.
Okay. I'm going to take the Broncos and the under, and I'm going to take the 49ers and the over. I think the Titans won their Super Bowl last week. We'll see. Don?
I'm gonna take the Broncos and the under.
Okay.
I'll take the. So are they playing in Tennessee or are they playing in San Fran?
They're playing in
San
San Fran.
Francisco.
Okay, I'll go Niners and the over.
Okay. Dave.
Okay, I'm going to take San Francisco in the over and Denver in the over.
Okay. Dave.
That should be a good game, that one. Green Bay and Denver.
Yep.
Yeah.
Might be the best game on the slate.
Might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Yeah. And both of them are cold weather teams. I don't. The only thing that might make a difference is the field goals in Mile High. We'll see. So we have the Panthers, and they're getting 2.5. They're playing the Saints, and the over-under is 40.5. Panthers getting 2.5. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, that's Carolina. I think has been doing pretty good, and they've had the upsets. I'm going to take Carolina in the under.
Yeah,
I don't have confidence in New Orleans, so
yeah.
Carolina's like 6 and 7. I want to say so. For me,
Yeah.
Carolina in the under.
Yeah, I mean, they did good last week, but I'm trying to think. Somebody might be smoking something here. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna take that. I'm gonna take the Panthers and the points, and I'm gonna take they're playing in New Orleans. I'm gonna take the under in this, and Dave, staying with you. We have the Lions. Excuse me. The Lions are getting 5.5. They're playing at the Rams, and the over/under is 55.5.
This is another good game. I've been taking Detroit in the over all season long, and then last week I took Dallas in the over. And of course, Detroit won. So I'm going to take Detroit in the over.
Okay, I'm going to take Detroit, but I'm going to take the under here. I don't know if they're going to.
That's a lot of points. Yeah.
It's a lot of points. So are we on Don here, I believe?
Yes. So I'm going to take the. I'm going to take the Rams in the under.
Okay.
And what was the over/under on the other game?
The Panthers getting 2.5, playing at the Saints, and the over/under was 40.5.
I'll take the Panthers in the under.
All right. Mr. Scott?
Well, I'll take the Saints. They got to win a game sometimes. I mean, everybody wins one every now and then.
They won last week.
And I'm going to take the Saints in the over, and I'll take – boy, the Rams kind of let me down. Lions can score. Rams can score. Oh, man, I got to take the Lions, I guess, in the points, and I'll take the over.
Okay, and you took the Saints in the over too?
Yeah.
So Stanford or
So either John Matthew Stanford or possibly Mr. Jared Goff.
Well, Stafford is better. Stafford's better than Goff. I mean, I don't care what that other guy says that gets on here every now and then. He just keeps avoiding me. Stafford is a better quarterback. He's just older. That's the only thing. That's why they traded him, because he was an older guy and they thought the other guy was going to be so great. And he's kind of going back, he's going back to default settings. So, that's just.
Okay. So, but now you took the Rams and the over in that game?
Yeah. No, I took the Lions.
You took
Lions in the over.
I took the points. See, this is the thing. See, people can't get into where they want to take a team because they like them. When you're doing this, you have to kind of analyze the points, who can do what, and who. So yeah, they'll be close. They'll get the points, and I think it'll be over. But Stafford is a better. I mean, he's a better quarterback. There's no question about that. I mean, I don't care what that other guy says. He doesn't know. See, this is the thing where this is where you start losing when you just start taking things because you like them. You want them, and that's you guys are going to fall into that too. You Pittsburgh guys, you're going to fall into that too. So I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. You don't have to listen.
No, I do believe. I'm the guy that said that we were going 6-11. So the chances of me picking Pittsburgh to win, playoff game, it depends on especially if they have to go play the Bills again. I don't know. We'll see. Bill.
I will take the Panthers and the over, and I will take the Rams and the under.
Okay, we got Sunday night and Monday night. Bill, we're going to start with you. We have the Vikings. They're getting 5.5. They're playing Jerry's guys, and the over-under is 47.5.
And that's in Dallas, right?
That's in Dallas.
Yeah, I will take Dallas and the over.
Okay, and the Monday night game, we have the Dolphins visiting Pittsburgh. The over-under is 42.5, and we are giving the Fins 3. No hook, just
no
fluke.
hook. Man, this feels like a push situation, doesn't it? I am sorely tested. This could definitely go either way, or it could go neither way, because of the no hook. And this is in Pittsburgh. And we know, of course, about the Dolphins' legendary struggles in poor weather games. So I will take the Steelers. I don't like it, and I will take the under. I don't like any of it, but I'll do it anyway.
All right. Well, give us your final thoughts. Maybe you'll like that.
Well, my final thought is a sad one. Sharon Moore, a bright young black coach who I've been tracking his career since he was the tight ends coach at Bowling Green State University many years ago, was dismissed apparently for cause from the University of Michigan, opening up another flagship. This has got to be a record, right? For flagship, top 5 in the history of wins in college football kinds of programs have opened up this offseason, and this is yet another one. One is I hope that the allegations, if true, I hope he seeks out counseling. I hope he gets himself in a better place. Or if the allegations are untrue, I hope that he is, radically vindicated and that his name is cleared if the allegations do not turn out to be true. But either way, we've lost, I think, one of the brightest and most interesting, most charismatic young coaches. And it's particularly tough because, once again, it's hard for black coaches to get these jobs. When the Mel Tuckers come along and they lose their job for cause, and Sharon Moore apparently for the same kind of situation. I hope it doesn't make some of these places gun shy, but I see Charles Huff is, continuing to climb the ranks a little bit, slowly but surely. I hoped at one point he might even get an interview with Penn State. That didn't happen, but he had coached there as a running backs coach in the past. We're having successes both at Marshall and now at Southern Miss before he moved up the ranks with what happened with Ryan Silverfield leaving Memphis. Silverfield leaving Memphis. But like I said, I don't know Sharon Moore terribly well. We do talk occasionally on Twitter. We follow each other, and he always seemed like a very gracious and an intelligent young man. But, who knows what goes on behind closed doors. But once again, I hope that, one, this does not derail his career as it seems to have done with Mel Tucker. And two, I hope, like I said, it doesn't make some of these flagship programs become gun shy, where the actions of one person prevents them from looking at someone else just because they're also young and black. That's my fault.
Very sober thoughts there. Mr. Scott, Vikings getting 5.5, playing at Dallas, over under 47.5.
Boy, boy, it's going to be turnovers, missed field goals, drop passes, all these kind of things are going to happen. JJ might get hurt. I got to take Dallas at home. And the Vikings really haven't been doing a lot of scoring. So, and Dallas has been. So,
Yeah.
but that's when I'm going to take Dallas in the under.
Okay. And Monday night, you got the Dolphins getting just 3, no hook, and they're playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Over under is 42.5.
I will take. I think the ends are resurgent. I think that this ayahuasca, he had a good game last game, but I don't think that's going to last. Even though they're at home, it's going to be cold, and that's another thing. But I'm gonna try Miami. I'm taking the points, and I'll take the over.
All right. Final thoughts, Mr. Scott?
Well, the only thought I have is I was just thinking about baseball coming up or getting into as cold as it is here now with all this snow. It's just getting ridiculous now, and it's just going to be below zero. Just all this foolishness. I can't stand it.
You live in Minnesota, Mr. Scott.
Well, yeah, but usually it hasn't been this bad this early. This is like the end of January. It's supposed to be like so. But yeah, I was just thinking about, for some reason, baseball, and I just thought it just popped into my mind about Zoilo Versalles, who was my favorite player back then, a shortstop from Cuba. And the old owner then, Calvin Griffith, when the Twins came up here from Washington, and they were like the most terrible team for years in baseball. And so they relocated up here. We were going to get the Giants. But they decided, the guy came up here and saw the winter snow. He said, no, we're going to California. He just stayed up here, got off the plane, got right back on the plane, Horace Stoneham, said, I'm going to California. That's it. I'm not going to play here. But Zoilo, Calvin brought in a lot of great players from Cuba. Zoilo Versalles, Tony Oliva, Camilo Pascual, which was just, he had a curveball on TV when you watch it. It looked like it just dropped off a table. And then Zoilo became that when they won the pennant in '65, he was the most valuable player in the league that year. And that World Series was tremendous with the Dodgers, where Jim Mudcat Grant pitched a great game and hit a home run to win a game, the pitcher. But Koufax and Drysdale were just too much. Them two were just, and I think that's all they started. It was them two. And those guys were just too much. It was just, but it went 7 games. And I don't know, when it gets this cold, it gets this, I think about warmer things. And actually, I'm thinking about where I'm going to get out of here. I just haven't decided if it's going to be Vegas or Miami or one of the islands or something. But that's my final thought.
No love for Claude Osteen?
Oh, yeah. Well, see, there was a lot of good players that Calvin Griffith brought up. Like I said, Rod.
No, I'm just saying in that amazing pitching battle, you had Jim Cott, but I was pointing out that Claude Osteen also was involved in the. It seemed like it was just Drysdale and Koufax. I think Koufax also pitched 2 relief stints, including I think in the final game, which is the final game of his whole career. I think he pitched a total of 27 1/3 innings, I think, in that World Series.
Oh, he was dominant. He was him and Bob Gibson. That was just, those were the unhittable people. Between the two of them. But yeah, that was so exciting because in school, the shop teacher brought a TV in so we could watch the games because they played some of those games in the daytime.
Right. In those days, they did.
World Series. Yeah.
So I think the rotation was a very young Don Sutton, Claude Osteen, and of course, as you mentioned, Drysdale and Koufax.
Actually, Baranowski was one of the relievers. He ended up.
Baranowski was a terrific reliever. Yeah.
He ended up coming to the Twins.
So, Dave, your final 2 here. Let me see. I'm going to take. I'm going to take Jerry's guys and the under and I'm going to take the Steelers in the under.
All right. I'm going to take Dallas in the over, and I'm going to take the under in the game, but I'm calling a push.
Ooh,
So if the game is 3
you get
points, I'll
extra
get 2
points.
points
Yeah.
for
Wait
the
a minute.
push.
Wait. I'm throwing a flag. Wait.
We've been doing this. We've done it before. It's
Yeah,
not new.
you can take the same thing, Mr. Scott. It's open.
Yeah, but then you win either way if you take a push.
No,
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 I either get 2 points or I get 0 points.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's even. So you're taking the push for
In
the
the
extra
under.
point and the under. All right. And your final thoughts?
Yeah. Well, one, I'm going to be at the game. It's going to be in the 20s, so I'm going to be bundled up. You know, I can't take the cold the way I used to, but I'm gonna go for it. But
Dave, do you go to any games that are above 20?
yeah, I do.
Oh,
In September.
I was just wondering. I'm still seeing that picture of you in Buffalo with ice.
Oh yeah, that Buffalo playoff game. That
Yeah.
was crazy. Wow. But yeah, my final thought, I'm going to, Bo was talking about how college football is professional. And this has been a battle going on for 90 years. And I'm going to go back to the 1930s. Jock Sutherland, legendary coach he was coaching the Pitt. He had actually played for Pitt in the 1917 when they were national champions or claimed to be national champions. And what happened, they had a bowl game out west, and he arranged for the players to get a stipend so that they would have eating money and everything. Well, the chancellor at the University of Pittsburgh said, no, you can't be doing that. And these are college athletes, and then furthermore, Jock Sutherland would give they kind of called them submarine scholarships, because Pitt didn't offer scholarships in the 1930s. A submarine scholarship was they would give you a job that you didn't show up for, but you were paid. And that's the way he was doling out money. And they won national championships. I mean, Pittsburgh, between Carnegie Mellon, University of Pittsburgh, and even Duquesne, all three of them were nationally ranked teams. Yep. And Pitt was on top of it. Well, the chancellor said, no more of that. No stipends, no scholarships, none of these arrangements. These are going to be student athletes. And at the time, they were building or had just finished building Pitt Stadium. And so Jock Sutherland said, well, if I can't do that, I'm not going to be able to attract the caliber of player. So we're going to have to play we can't play the Notre Dames. We can't play these teams. And the chancellor said, no, you got to play Notre Dame. We got to fill that state. We got to pay for the stadium. You got to fill it up. And Jock Sutherland, he ended up leaving Pitt because he knew what was going to happen. And really, the University of Pittsburgh became irrelevant for the next 40 years until Tony, and I'll call him Tony Dorsett, or now Tony Dorsett, as he renamed himself. Until they became relevant in the 1970s. But really, and that whole battle was about the academia being afraid of professionalizing the sport. And I think that battle's been going on for 90 years. Pitt, they voted not to go to a bowl game. I think it was the Rose Bowl. And that's while Jock Sutherland was coach. And now here we are in 2025. And I don't, hey, the players, it's their name, their image, their likeness. They should be able to make something off of that. The transfer portal, I think, has done more good for college football than bad, is my opinion, because it's spread out the competition. So, but this is a battle that's been going on for at least 90 years, if not more. So that's my final thought for tonight.
Okay. Don, take us home. Your picks and your final thoughts.
So I'm going to go Dallas in the over,
Okay.
and I go Pittsburgh in the under.
All righty.
So final thoughts. So we started off talking about college football. We'll end talking about college football. Of course, the situation in Michigan. I found out today that this investigation has been going on for about 3 weeks.
Yep.
But they didn't want to say anything because signing day was Wednesday, and so it's all about keep your class together as it is, because the rule says if your coach leaves, you can leave. So all those scholarships that just signed are non-binding. And Michigan had a pretty nice haul as far as offensive linemen go. And who needs offensive linemen? University of Texas. In fact, I think 2 or 3 of those guys, it came down between Michigan, Texas, and someone else. So hopefully Texas can reap some of the benefits from this scandal. The other thing that's real interesting, everything is a domino, right? College football is about domino effects. So Michigan fires their coach. Michigan's number one priority is to find someone that they feel confident to run the program. The name that keeps coming up is DeBoer from Alabama. Okay. Now, this is all pretend, right? So let's say DeBoer leaves Alabama and goes to Michigan. Who's going to be first on Alabama's list? Probably, maybe, Lane Kiffin. Kiffin has been wanting that Alabama job forever. And like 2 weeks after he signs on with LSU, it might come open. So I'm just gonna pop a big ass tub of popcorn. I'm gonna watch as Lane Kiffin fucks another school. Possibly. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. Possibly, but I just got some text from some people who work with 247 Sports, and they're bringing all the juicy details about what's going on in Michigan. I mean, he got arrested. Y'all know that he got arrested today.
Yeah, he got arrested. Yeah,
at his girlfriend's house. So
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, guys. But all that aside, I don't want to get involved in people's personal life, but the fact that it's going to set off chaos in college football possibly is going to be real interesting, because I think Texas could get some kids from Michigan and Alabama. Wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, that's my final thoughts.
All right, Mr. Scott. I'm trying to figure out how you come up with all this Green Bay gear so quickly. I mean, was that the plan this year to abandon the Vikings for the Packers?
Well, like I was saying, see, when I was a kid, there was no Vikings. There was no Twins.
Right.
And so all we saw was Green Bay. I mean, I knew every player on Green Bay, Marv Fleming, Bart Starr, Jerry Kramer, Willie
Fuzzy
Wood,
Thurston, yeah.
Fuzzy Thurston, Max
Danny
McGee,
Merson,
Lloyd Dowler. I mean, I knew all of it. See, that's all we saw. And the Yankees. And that's why the Yankees was my team, because we didn't have any team here. We just had the University of Minnesota, which was really hot when they went to the Rose Bowl for those 2 years with Sandy Stevens as the quarterback. Yeah. But yeah, that's why I still kind of keep a little Green Bay, because that was my first team, and then it was cold here and we had to go outside and battle in that snow and cold. And when I watched that Dallas and Oh man, that game with Dallas and Green Bay. I'm just like, and I looked outside. I'm like, good Lord, there's no way I'm gonna play a game in this kind of weather. This is ridiculous. But I mean, that was the real deal. That was real deal football. So yeah, that's why I kind of keep my, toe in some Green Bay. I even go across the border every now and then and watch a game with some people over there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy the games this weekend. Wow, who would have thought? Was it week 15 already? I mean, it seems like the season just started. I don't know, but everybody, I want more games. Let's go for 21. What the?
Oh, come on. Teams can't even field quarterbacks with 17 game seasons.
Hey, then don't accept that $60 million that Dak is getting. If you can't play the season, then hey.
Yeah, but even when they played 12 games, they had a backup, and if you're really leading, and they put the other guy in.
And they hit harder. They hit harder when they were playing 12 and 14 games. I don't know, but anyway, hey, bring back the clothesline. Anyway,
16 game season.
Go Army, beat Navy.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Have a good week. I'll see everybody next week. Have a good
Take care.